Welcome back, everyone. Listen, if you're an 8th grader tuning in today, or honestly, if you're just anyone looking for a way to master tough subjects, you are in the absolute perfect place. In this explainer, we're going on a mission to unlock what I like to call a mental superpower. We're going to explore how to take those massive, intimidating walls of information and transform them into images that practically stick to your brain. Get ready, because today we're visualizing complex truths for the godly learner.
Okay, let's dive into this because I know you've been here. You're sitting at your desk, you read an entire page of a super dense textbook. Your eyes have physically scanned every single word, right? But you get to the bottom of the page only to realize you remember absolutely zero of what you just read. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? You kind of feel like you've wasted your time and the information just bounces right off. But look, the problem isn't your brain, and it's not that the subject is too hard for you either. The problem is simply how you're processing the information.
So let's move into Section 1, the magic of mental movies. To fix this frustrating problem, you really need to start treating your mind like a high-end movie studio. When you read a text, you shouldn't just be a passive consumer of black and white words on a page. You need to become the director of your own mental movie. What we're talking about here is visualization. By definition, visualization is turning complex, dense, or abstract ideas into clear mental pictures to simplify and remember them. It's taking something completely unfamiliar and giving it shape, color, and action right there in your mind's eye. So instead of trying to memorize a really dry list of facts, you're directing a dynamic scene that your brain can easily hold on to. That brings us to Section 2, why visualization actually matters. Taking just a few seconds to visualize is literally the ultimate game changer for your grades because it translates those abstract, super detailed ideas into a format your brain naturally loves. And this brilliantly illustrates a core biblical foundation for this study skill too. If we look at the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2, it says, "Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it." You see, even God himself values making complex things plain, visual, and clear. When a vision is plain, when you can truly, vividly see it, you can take action on it. You can run with it. This isn't just some random brain trick. It's a deeply meaningful way to align how we learn with how we were actually designed to understand truth. Moving right along to Section 3, your visualization toolkit. Let's look at a simple, step-by-step roadmap you can use for absolutely any subject.
All right, here are your 4 actionable steps to start directing your mental movie. Step 1, start by identifying the key elements. Who are the people? Where's the place? What are the core events? Don't get lost in the weeds here. Just find the main actors first. Moving to Step 2, picture their interaction in a clear sequence. See Step A leading to Step B leading to Step C. Make it move like a video. Now, Step 3 is for those tricky abstract ideas, stuff like justice or freedom. Since you can't really touch those, visualize symbols for them, like a balanced scale or a waving flag. And finally, Step 4, draw quick sketches or flowcharts. Now listen, they don't have to be perfect art at all. Making a physical rough sketch on scratch paper heavily reinforces those mental movies, which makes your review later entirely effortless.
All right, Section 4, putting it into practice. Get your mental movie studio ready, because we're going to do some directing together right now.
Let's move on and see how this builds when we apply it to science. Take the water cycle. Instead of just memorizing the vocabulary words, picture the actual sequence. Step 1, evaporation. Imagine invisible, warm steam rising up from a massive, glittering ocean. Step 2, condensation. Picture that steam hitting the freezing cold air and clumping together into heavy, dark clouds. Step 3, precipitation. See the rain violently pouring out of those clouds. And Step 4, collection. Watch that rainwater gathering back into a flowing river or a deep lake. Do you see the difference there? You aren't just reciting words on a page. You're watching a full-blown nature documentary right in your head.
Let's try it with history. A textbook might simply say, in 1773, colonists protested British taxes during the Boston Tea Party. Kind of boring, right? Let's visualize it instead. Paint a vivid, sensory picture. Imagine those colonists in disguise. Picture the heavy wooden crates of tea. Imagine the actual sound of the wood splintering as they crack them open. And visualize tossing those crates into the dark, freezing water, all illuminated by this bright, silvery moonlight. Suddenly, a totally dry historical event feels alive, rebellious, and completely unforgettable.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how we handle abstract concepts. Take the word perseverance. I mean, you can't draw a picture of a dictionary definition, but you definitely can assign it a physical, visual action. When you read about a character showing perseverance, imagine them climbing a steep, rugged, rocky hill. Imagine them doing this despite howling wind and freezing rain constantly pushing them backward, but they just keep taking one step forward anyway. Assigning that visual action makes a completely abstract concept like perseverance instantly understandable and relatable.
Okay, now it's your turn to lock this all in. Here are 5 quick homework questions to test your new mastery. Number 1, how does visualization actually help with complex ideas? Number 2, can you give your very own example of visualizing a history event? 3, what's one symbol you would use for the word freedom? 4, why should you use quick physical sketches? And 5, why do we have to identify key elements before we start making the movie? I strongly encourage you to literally screenshot this right now. Test yourself on these later today to guarantee you've truly captured this skill.
Let's jump to Section 5, Visualizing Faith and Morality. We're going to shift our focus to the spiritual application of all this. You see, this academic tool of visualization is actually a profoundly powerful way to grow in your faith too. Just as we visualize to understand a history story or a science process, we can literally visualize God's promises to strengthen our faith. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 reminds us that faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Think about that. Faith is literally about seeing the unseen. When you read God's word, don't just speed read the text. Picture his promises coming alive in your own life, in your specific circumstances. Picturing that positive outcome is exactly what inspires massive hope and gives you the raw courage to take action. So the crucial point is this, and by the way, this is the entire core philosophy of the HeroesMart Academy Godly Learners series. We absolutely must intertwine biblical morality with our education. Why? Well, because education without morality is just going to hurt you. Think about it. What is the point of being incredibly smart, getting straight A's, and being supposedly highly educated if you just continue to make bad character choices that end up hurting you and everybody around you? A sharp mind without a good heart is honestly a dangerous thing. On the flip side, Romans 8, 6-7 promises true peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. When you combine your hard-earned intelligence with a spiritual, moral mind, well, that is exactly where you find true success and deep, lasting peace. So you're walking away from this explainer today fully equipped. You have the tools, you have the 4-step roadmap, and you've got the mental movie studio to visualize and master basically any complex truth your textbooks throw at you. But I want to leave you with one final, incredibly important thought to ponder. You can visualize anything now, but what kind of future are you choosing to picture for yourself? Will you visualize an education built strictly on cold facts, or one built on strong biblical morality and character? The director's chair is yours. Thanks so much for joining me today, and hey, keep making those visions plain.